Good evening, good evening. Good evening once again. Welcome to this show is so special to my heart, Man's Edition, presented by Creative Emotions. I hope everyone's been having a wonderful week. We have thus far. How's your week been to my brother over here?
Man, my week's been great because it's been a nice, not too cold, not too hot week.
I know, man. I'm loving this weather.
Yeah,
it's not Indian summer, Indian fall.
Indian fall.
We have an amazing show coming up. And if you've been here before, I'm Chef Wilson. And I always like everyone to introduce themselves, and no one can ever introduce you the way that you could. So I'm going to start with my host here to my right.
A.K.A. Leon, a.k.a. Lee Polo. What up, the world? How y'all doing today? Coming to y'all live and direct.
All right, we got a special guest. I've been knowing this gentleman for some years, working along with him. One thing I always notice about his energy, he's always consistent. And everything he does, since I've been watching him, he always had vision, even with his workouts. So this guy right here, is my guy, man, terribly focused. And I love that about him. Could you please introduce yourself?
Vonshea D from the 313. What's up, Mr. Wilson?
All right.
No, Vonshea D from the
Yo.
313. That's what's up.
That's it.
That part right there. Now, for this month, we've been highlighting, I think our last show we did cigar culture.
Yeah, we killed
Yeah.
that. Yep.
So, once again, we just bringing to you what men do in their spare time. Sometimes we do it through hobbies, our toys, but it's just another way for us to sit back and find peace in things. Not all of us is just running the streets, right? We're investing into ourselves. So today's show, we're talking about big boy toys, and this is the bike culture. My co-host here can speak to it because he's a rider. I was back in the day, but not currently. And for our specialist here, our special guest, Shay, can you please tell me how you got started? What was your motivation and your passion? And how old were you when you first got started with the bikes?
In terms of riding,
Yes, in terms of
my initial entrance,
Yes.
Purple Rain.
All right, that was cold movie. His bike was cold.
Seeing Prince riding on that motorcycle,
Right.
that's what piqued my interest in motorcycles.
Wow. Okay. Okay. What was your first bike?
My first bike was a '07 Boulevard.
Oh, I remember
Suzuki
that.
Boulevard.
Wow.
Yes.
A Boulevard. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Did a few modifications to it. I went from the 240 rear tire to a 260, so I went with a wider rear tire
Okay.
for more stability on the road. Yeah.
So how long did you stay with that bike?
I had that bike from actually '07 to '18 when I bought my Harley.
Okay. So, I just have to get right into this. What is the type of piece that riding from then? I want both of you guys to, I'm going to answer it also, but I want you guys to answer this. When you're out on an open road, and usually when you're riding, you are by yourself. Can you please explain the type of piece so our audience can understand? Because I know they see a lot of people on the road with their bikes, but can you describe the type of peace and maybe the ideal morning or evening that it brings you?
Well, for me, I'm going to say it like this. And I know Vonshea can help me out with that when you say it's two different styles of riding. Mm-hmm. A crop rocket riding at nighttime or daytime is totally different than a Harley riding at night or in the daytime. So for me, the peace comes from, and let's say I'm on a crotch rocket because I'm going fast and you feel like nothing can stop you. You feel invincible. But then when you're on a Harley, it's like that music banging and you riding and you like, man, I'm chilling, and you feel like you got a good glass of wine or a good cigar, and you just like, man, I could ride from here to California right now if I wanted to. It's California dreaming right now.
Hey, you had me visualizing that.
Tell me, Shay, go ahead.
Well, for me, when you're out there on that road, you have to have a clear mental state. That way you can completely focus on not only the machine, but the road itself, along with the scenery.
Right.
So for me, I have to completely clear, my thoughts, all of the negative thoughts, all of the hustle and bustle, that's related to, life in general. Once you're out there on that road, you're on that machine. Now my bike is 1,100 pounds, so that's a lot of weight.
Yes.
So you got to have that focus in order to handle all that metal. Then you have to have the focus on the terrain of the road, just in terms of looking out for potholes and, other drivers that are out on the road. And then there's the scenery, what God has blessed us all with, just in terms of looking at the sunrise, riding early in the morning, or the sunset,
Right.
when you're riding in the evening hours. But for me, especially at night, there's nothing more peaceful and tranquil than those nighttime rides.
Right.
I gotta agree with him. I mean, and he even hit you with the being responsible.
Yes.
Because that's a lot of things that we forget as bikers to teach the next bikers that's coming along responsibility with this. Because it only take a second and it's over with. Can't get that back.
And it's ironic that both of you brought that up, because that was one of my next things I wanted to ask. For the listening audience, maybe young men and women that are looking to get into this from the safety perspective. Is it any classes they should be taking? What should be their approach to it? Because I think a lot of people just see the paint schemes on the bikes, what they're going to wear, whether or not they're going to have their music on it. And I don't know if they even really start addressing their mind from the safety perspective. You watching out and you looking out for others. So can one of you guys please talk to that part of
That's a huge aspect of it. First and foremost, you have different skill sets in terms of classes that are offered, anywhere from beginners to advanced riders, just to teach you various different, safety measures when you're out there on the road. But, yeah.
See, for me, and I'm glad he said that, because even though I have my cycle endorsement, I took a different, a not so, what they say, a good way to do this stuff that I do. So I learned from a couple guys how to crash. That was one of the things they taught me: do figure eights, do these things, learn how to lean your bike down, fall on it, so on and so forth.
Okay.
And a lot of those things I think are important, because people don't understand, it only takes, like I said, it only takes a second to get into an accident. I've been in several motorcycle accidents. And yes, a lot of them was due to my negligence of, drinking and driving and not paying attention to the motorcycle, or not paying attention to somebody else who actually hit me.
Okay.
But it comes from what Shay's saying, and which is so true, is that if you're going to get a bike, invest the time to do not just ride it and put it together, but also to know how to, if something happens, to save yourself. Because there's a lot of things you can do on there, as he was definitely eloquently saying, that you can know how to crash. Knowing how to, when you driving the car, they teach you evasive driving.
Absolutely.
So I know we got to learn it on the motorcycle.
Yeah, and different styles of bikes handle differently. So it's very important that you learn your bike. For example, a crotch rocket or a sport bike handles entirely different as opposed to a touring bike. Let's say like a Harley Road Glide or a Victory,
Right.
or a Goldwing.
Huh. Yeah.
Those bikes handle far different as opposed to a sport bike. So you can't ride those bikes in the same manner.
Okay, so are you saying like the sport bikes, are they, as far as their response,
Everything.
it's a little bit more crispier? How would you describe that?
So I put it like this, and then I'll let Shay go ahead and hit it. The thing about a sport bike is you're going to lean one way on the sport bike that you wouldn't lean on a Harley, because of the aerodynamics. In the sport bike, you're going with the stuff. With the Harley, you might go against it because of all the weight. So you're counterbalancing the weight. So if I'm going in the corner in a Harley, because a Harley, even at 100 miles per hour, it's still going to be slower than 100 miles per hour in the crotch rocket. It's just not the same bike. But you have to understand that because, like me, I came from a crotch rocket and went to a Harley. The first Harley I rode was a Road King. Totally different feel of riding. It was totally different. I was like, okay, I'm happy. But it was like, oh, I can't just burn rubber and go fast like I do on this other bike. I get to 130, 140 in 20 seconds. The Harley might take a little longer. You know, but like I know Shay gonna comment to is that the thing about it is that you're gonna learn, you got to learn. And I'm gonna add this in, Shay, you tell me if I'm wrong or right. You gotta know your machine too.
Oh, absolutely.
Right, your machine.
That's what I was speaking on. Yeah, you have to learn your bike and its capabilities and also its limitations.
True. Yes, limitations. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't currently have a bike, but my truck, I know the limitations, and I know how I can get away from it. You know why? Because I let it get away. You know what I'm saying? I said, whoa. You know what I'm saying? You put it sideways, so I do. I agree with you 100% on that. So going into, is it local classes? I mean, what happens with because for like with me and maybe a few others, where can you really take these classes at? And the time, is it like a few weeks? What are we looking at and the cost on something like this?
Well, I'm going to let Shay answer that because for me personally, I've learned this. And like I said, Shay can back me up on this. Just because I'm riding my bike, I might have to learn how to ride my bike different than the class that I'm taking.
Okay.
So, for instance, I got my cycle endorsement riding the Elite 250 because it only had to be 250 cc's in order to ride a motorcycle. Now, I actually didn't ride a motorcycle to get my license, but I was already riding a bike already prior to that. And so I had to get legit at that point. So for me, I didn't want to take, what's the point of me going to get a real bike to ride to take that type of class? I just needed a class to give me the cycle endorsements. So once again, and Shay, you can back me up or, interject. It's different for different bikes and different people.
Absolutely.
It's what you're going for. Some guys just want to, especially with the Harley culture, they just want to ride. They're not looking to really do too much more than take about 55, 60 and cruise a little bit.
Well, those are with some. Now with my bike, which is a Road Glide. Now we've rode as far east as D.C. Okay. We've been as far south as Georgia, and as far west as Oklahoma.
Wow.
And when we get out on that open road, we're doing triple digits sometimes. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, once again, that's why I'm glad he said that. That's an experienced group of guys riding.
Exactly.
They know the hand signals. They know how each other ride. They're used to each other ride.
Which is extremely important.
Yes. Yeah. You got to add that in.
Knowing the skill set of the group of riders that you're with.
Absolutely.
Because there are some people who I would not ride with.
Look, my God.
They will get you killed. Absolutely. Yes. They will get you killed.
Let's talk about this bike week. Now, I've heard about, I think it's in South Carolina or North Carolina. Where's that bike week at?
Oh, Myrtle Beach.
Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
Either one of you guys experienced that?
No, I've never attended. I've heard stories.
I've never been, but all my guys go, so I get all the raw and uncut videos.
I know, I've seen videos. I'm like, all right, so
I don't get the Facebook ones. I get the raw.
Is it a lot of events around? So someone looking to get into, into the bike culture, is it a lot of events around Michigan they can just start going to?
Yes. I mean, the bike culture itself is something that's synonymous with just cigars. You'll see a lot of guys, cigar bars, riding bikes. You'll see a lot of people listening to live music. The old, mature crowd. You'll see riding bikes. So bike culture has become synonymous with being grown, with being, want to relax around grown-up stuff. So you would nowadays, I would say, and then Shay, you can tell me how you feel about it. You will see more and more guys huddling around bikes in more and more mature situations.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Now, Shay, I know you have a son, right?
I do.
All right, have you started him in with the bikes?
Yeah, I bought him a 250cc mini bike for Christmas a few years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Shay, I'm about to hit Chef up with this. So what used to be a 250 back in the day, and you always wanted one? You already know what it is. This back when you was a little young whippersnapper, and they had the Spree.
Oh, yes.
What was the next one?
It was the Honda Elite,
Elite.
150.
It was Elite.
Yeah,
That sure was.
And then that boy that they called
The
it
Helix.
Bird, it's the Helix for
Yeah.
us, but now they call it the Birdman. Back
Oh,
in the day,
yeah.
Look, man, my
Yeah,
first
we
bike.
rode those as teenagers. You know, my
Exactly.
cousin,
Yeah.
he had one back in the mid '80s.
Yeah.
Man, my first bike when I was probably about 12, 13, it was a Honda 70. Remember those?
Man,
Trail bike.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was that part right there. And
So
that's
you
how,
can do tricks.
yes.
Okay.
Most
okay.
definitely.
Oh, okay, Rough Rider.
So we, back in the day, we had our little club. It was mini bikes in it, the 250s, the Honda 70s. And even though we were on the streets and not what you would consider open road, even in the evening, so I can really relate. And it was peaceful, even as a young man. Mm-hmm. Back then, it was very peaceful. You was doing your thing. Some people got left behind, but in your all, it was still peaceful. Is it anything that, is it any mistakes that you guys made on bikes that may have been detrimental at that time that could have been to your health that you can share with the audience that they probably should not be doing, be it drinking and riding,
Real easy. You just said it. Drinking. Drinking is an art. And I'm going to tell you right now, you shouldn't drink and drive. That's the public announcement. Public announcement. I'm starting up something. So literally right now, Shay, I'll tell you this, Shay. When I ride the Harleys that I ride, I do not drink. I might have one beer to take the edge off, but I do not drink, and I'm a drinker. Because I don't want, like Shay was saying, because nowadays with these bikes, especially with these rims and everything, and we live in Detroit, Michigan, and our roads are horrible. Our roads are not made for motorcycles, let alone a car with rims on it. So you have to be very cognitive about the bumps and your terrain, like he was saying. I don't sometimes ride at night if I'm going somewhere that I don't know.
That you're not familiar
Yeah.
with the road.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just because I'm
Michigan
riding.
is the pothole capital.
Oh,
of
man,
the
I'm in my
US.
truck rolling up here, and I was upset.
There's construction going on in our roads. Seems like endlessly.
Yes.
There's always construction going on.
I got
They're
hit with this.
repaving.
I'm riding one night, and I'm coming down Evergreen between 11 Mile and 12 Mile, and now all of a sudden I see the construction, and I lift up on the bike, because I'm like, damn, I'm about to hit this boy hard than the mud, and I can't slow down. And then the bump was like, poo poo. I said, oh, what the hell? That little bump tricked the shit out of me. I thought I was about to be dead in that moment. So you have to be careful.
You do.
And drinking will, and I know a lot of guys that mess up their bikes. Like, damn, I scratched the bike up. Because now you pay for the paint job, and it's a lot.
Walk away with your life, though, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's something that has never been an issue for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, reason being is because I'm not a drinker, nor do I smoke.
Oh,
now,
God.
it's in terms of anything that I may have done that could have possibly been detrimental to me, other than being on the highway and doing triple digits.
Right.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Right.
Yeah, which is really not the responsible thing to do, to be frankly honest, because all you have is a helmet.
Okay.
Wait, and then
No airbags, no seat belts. The only safety feature that we have on the motorcycle is, of course, the helmet.
But let's add that in. So even a lot of guys nowadays, because one of my partners, God bless the dead, he messed up this summer and didn't have a helmet on his trike. And he ended up getting hit and dying because not having a helmet, because we have a law in Michigan that says you don't have to wear a helmet.
Yeah,
And even I'm guilty of that.
which makes it optional.
Yeah.
So am I.
Yeah, I'm guilty
There
of
have been
that.
times when, if I'm not on the highway, if I'm just riding on the surface streets,
Right.
more times than not, I've just got my baseball cap on,
Yeah,
turn backwards,
exactly, yeah, me
cruising
too,
down
yeah.
the street. Yeah.
Yeah, I often see that a lot now, and that's
But
so wild.
I do have life insurance too, so I mean, God forbid something happens to me. But worst case scenario, house to be paid off, and my daughter and my son, they'll be fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, say I want to get in. Last week, you showed me a couple pictures of you rewiring, and before the show, you said you were doing something to your sound system. Let me tell you something. This guy pull up at work. It's a whole party at the gate. Mm-hmm. How much more are you doing to your sound system?
Actually, I'm done. I'm done. With me upgrading the system that I did this year, I've blown a couple of speakers. So when I showed you that picture at work last week, I had taken the bike apart and I was rewiring my my amp and adjusting it.
So what type of custom work do you have on your bike right now? Because on our flyer, that is pictures of your bike. So what do you have that you said? What type of bike is it again?
Literally everything. I've got a 2018 Harley Davidson Road Glide.
So out of the factory, other than what came stock,
The only thing that's stock on my bike now is the motor. That's it.
So
Everything else I've changed.
I gotta add this, and you know what I'm saying. So when I went to go get a Harley, brand new, one of my guys said, "If you do that, you're the stupidest guy in the world." And I said, "Why?" He said, "Because you're gonna take everything off. You're literally gonna take everything off and put everything else on there." Mm-hmm. So he said, "Why you just don't get something and put the bike together the way you want to the first time versus getting the bike out the factory? Then you got to start all over again." Mm-hmm. So I said, "Dang," because he said that's what I did. So that's one of the things you got to, like, when we talk about this, Chef, it's so many different ways to put these things together that we have to be, we got to tell the culture, like, it ain't just go get the bike and, like Shay talking about the sounds. He already had good sounds. If he didn't do the work, how much that's going to cost every time to keep redoing your sounds?
Yeah, but those factory sounds were whack. Get on the highway and you get up to highway speed at about maybe 75, 80, and you can't hear your music.
Right.
I don't know what you got on your bike, man, but I just feel like I'm at Shane Park in the morning, man. What type of speakers do you have, man? Like, seriously.
I've got DS18 Pros.
Yeah.
And they're
That part,
pushing
right?
out 600 watts.
Oh, okay.
So that you can hear. That's all.
Oh,
You can hear.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah, you can most definitely hear it. But what I did want to touch base on is, how about the motorcycle clubs? I mean, do you guys go to them? Or are you a part of one?
No.
I go to them. So, and it's a different world too. Because me and Shay was talking about that earlier when we were starting off. Because when back in the day, when people was riding bikes when we first started, a lot of us started. A lot of people started with some crotch rocket style bike, and from there, which would be considered a sport bike. From there, people when they got a little older, they went to the Harleys. Now, the only thing that we really didn't touch on was that group in the middle, which is mostly motorcycle guys and the MCs that would actually have the bikes that we would be like, we don't really like them, which morphed into the Harleys and the things that we see nowadays that everybody got. So that's the only difference in the culture, but no, because the culture went from, okay, it was just this motorcycle thing to now it's like, okay, I want a big boy toy, I'm going to give me a bike.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to get me a Harley. And I'm going to put a 30 on there. And I'm going to put the sounds on there. And I'm going to put... So you will start looking like, okay, this guy got a whole custom car. It went from...
Oh, it is an expensive hobby.
Yes. And you have to always make sure you got a tow truck guy in your back pocket now.
Oh.
Because anything can happen. All them sounds pushing. You got to make sure you got the right amp and battery. I see turn the gas, go down. Down goes Fraser. They need a jump box.
Absolutely. So if you're just tuning in, we're talking about Big Boy Toys. And I like this segment here, just like the last one we have on the cigar culture, because when I think of this and I look at Shay's bike and I'm listening to you describe your experience, like, man, we have vision outside of purpose. Right. And so if you pull up beside one of these guys on the road, know that was his vision. He put a lot of work in it. So the great thing about it is, in this world, man, we seek out peace all around us. And it could be through sports, our hobbies, our toys. So this is what the segment is really about. What are we doing with our energy outside of providing and taking care of our family? It's good to sit back. I think Shay was telling me something to the extent you made a statement about what your garage meant to you. Remember we're at work and you...
It's my safe haven.
Could you explain that a little bit? And I'll let you expound on that also.
It always has been, especially during the time when I was married. I am happily divorced now. Have been for, let's see, 7 years. And for me, I view marriage as a business because essentially that's what it is. Hell, you go into it signing a contract. So that right there makes it a business. And for me, in business, you're either an asset or you're a liability. Plain and simple. And my so-called business partner was a liability. She wasn't interested in she and I building something together. She was strictly about self, and shortly after we got married, I started to see the selfishness in her, but figured that she would come away from it. However, during the time 2008, 2009, when we were going through the bankruptcy,
I remember that.
Times were really difficult for us then financially. So at that point, absolutely. Now, as the man of the house, as the primary, breadwinner, of course, it's my job to carry the heavy load, and I accepted that responsibility, wholeheartedly. But again, when we were going through that bankruptcy, we were barely working, and I needed my wife at the time to step her game up, so that we could continue to have this home that was being provided, not only for me, but for her, for our daughter, and for our son. And she wasn't interested. She wasn't interested in contributing to our household.
Absolutely.
So at that point, that was when I made up my mind, okay, I don't have a partner. What I have is a leech. So that was when I began to formulate my game plan. And I said to myself, okay, once we get back on track here at Chrysler, she got to kick bricks. Because basically she wasn't bringing anything to the table. And for me, if I'm pretty much doing everything on my own, then what do I need you for? What are you bringing to the table?
Absolutely.
Because again, marriage is a business. But she only viewed me as being primarily a paycheck and someone that she could live off of. And once I came to that realization, I was like, hey, her ass got to go.
And you know what? In this full circle, so, I'm listening to you. Been down that road before. So, as we do this show, peace comes in many different forms. So we just happen to be talking about our hobbies and our big boy toys. So during that time, I know when you say your garage, where your safe haven.
Well, that's where the peace came in for me. I know I got a little sidetracked.
No, it's cool because I didn't told my story a few times anyway.
Killer shit.
Yeah.
No.
But slowly putting my bike together. That's where I was, out in my garage. Tinkering. With my bike or my vehicle, which is a 09 G8 GT.
Oh, nice.
So I've been kind of, fumbling around with that LS motor.
Oh, have you? Okay.
Yeah, I do plan on putting a lot more money into it now. Now that I'm completely done with the bike, because I've got roughly $25,000 invested in my motorcycle.
Wow. And it's very
But
easy.
I did that in stages, of course, because, being blue collar, man, our money comes slow.
I know that's right.
We still have, a household to maintain, bills to pay.
Absolutely.
But then once that extra money came in,
A little bit here.
You already know.
and I actually did it in stages. I started at the front of the bike where I got the forks raked, bought the wraparound fender and the the 26-inch wheel.
Okay.
And then the second season, I went to the middle of the bike. I got an extended gas tank, had to get a new seat, bought digital gauges, to kind of make it look pretty. And then, here and there I would do other little small stuff like footboards and, change the air cleaner on it. But then the next major project was the rear end. And that was the stretch bags, the stretched fender, and the tour pack.
Oh, yeah, it looks nice. So if you're listening to Shay, man, even with our hobbies and our toys, if you have a household to run, it's okay to do things in stages and seasons.
Right.
Because even with what I'm working on with my truck, I do the same thing. Mm-hmm. So it's okay to have the hobbies. Along the way, you have vision. You're going to do research, and that sometimes carries
That's where it
you
starts.
over. Yes.
That's a great point, Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
With your research. Mm-hmm.
And that's very peaceful. So real men, when we're out here, other than providing for our families, and we're not running the streets like that, we're doing research on something that we have a passion for in our life. Mine's is health, and I love anything with a motor in it. So mine just happened to be my truck I'm putting together. So in between that time, fellas, ladies, when you see your husband or your man sitting back, you may just be hopefully doing some research on something that's bringing them peace.
Or find some peace.
Yes, that's important.
If you want a new hobby and you can't afford it right now, it's a lot of ways to get into it, especially the bike culture. That's probably one of the low entry hobbies I've seen based on like boating and cars.
Yeah, you start off small and you do what you can afford, piece by piece.
And I know a guy when I was working at the plant, he actually put his bike together it took him 5 years to put his bike together.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just what you're doing for your piece. And then one of the things I always say is that for the single guys that's riding bikes, yes, the bike culture, like the boat, like the cars, like anything else, they do bring the ladies. So understand that, that's part of the culture too as well. We don't want to dismiss that because, a lot of guys got bikes and we see ladies looking at the bikes. So
that is part of it.
Yeah. So they are part of it, but just be mindful and respectful that, if you got a significant other and you got a distinctive bike, they might not go together, She gonna know that lady was riding your bike because it's distinctive.
Yeah, well, of course, if you're married, you respect home first, even if you're away from home, or when you're away from home, you still respect home. You respect the foundation.
Got to.
Yeah.
But enjoy your toys now.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
now, you can't stop what another person may do, or in this case, what we're discussing, what a woman may say.
Right.
Mm-hmm. The only thing you can control are your own actions.
So
that's it.
I'm gonna answer this too.
Okay.
On a scale of 1 to 10, with your hobbies and your toys, how would you rate that on 1 to 10 in priority as far as your mental health? Outside of I pray every morning, and I have my children, my family that I do take care of. But outside of that, how important to your mental health is that outlet of your toys and your hobbies?
For me, it's 9. So
it's about a 9.
God is 10. Hobbies is 9 because 8 is getting money. Getting money is never gonna change. Even some of the stuff gonna be the same thing. Even with the hobbies,
Yeah, because those bills don't stop.
Yeah, they don't stop. But as far as when you're saying a peace of mind, the peace of mind comes with being able to. I know that if I'm having a hard day or stressful day, and like Shay said, for him is is getting in the garage, then getting on the bike or whatever. And I'm saying for me, it's like just being able to get on that bike. Like that's one of my go-tos. Sometimes I hate winters.
Yeah. Well, see, that's what makes it so miserable living here in Michigan. Because the riding season for us is so short.
Correct. Yeah.
So doing those spring and summer and early to mid fall days, if there's a good day, we trying to get out and ride because our time is limited. With those toys because they're summer toys, just like with boats to a degree. Yeah.
And I do understand that. So what would you rate yours on as far as your mental health on a 1 to 10? How important that is, but between the scale of 1 to 10?
Well, with my hobbies and just riding, extremely important. I mean, I wouldn't, of course, put it above, family or my children. But if my children are a 10, then riding and my hobbies would be an 8.
But let my children
Alongside
pick
working
Let
out.
'em pick
Now,
me
for
up.
me, working out is a priority. Eating clean is a priority, and that for me is also a 10. I mean, I'm 53 years old and I'm still getting up every morning at 2 a.m., working out before work. We're talking 5-6 days a week consistently. And I'm the type where if
That's for sure.
I skip a day or two, I feel guilty.
Right.
Absolutely. So I would probably say about an 8 also, because my children is first. God always going to be at the top.
Oh, he's the head of everything.
All the time.
See, me personally, if I have a challenging day, I don't like using the word stress. If I'm having a challenging day, I'm either gonna I always pray about it. Then after that, I'm gonna go to research. I'm doing some research on some parts for my truck, or looking at something for a boat. Because that's peaceful for me. That is, for me, that's peaceful. That takes my mind away from whatever it is, because the one research would lead me to doing research behind the part that I'm researching.
Right.
So, ladies, if you see your man and he's sitting at home and he just, whatever he's doing, if he's tinkering in the garage, just know he's just, for whatever reason, just trying to seek out a peace. Maybe just to get his energy away from something that may have been challenging in the day. And this is just helping our families understand fathers,
Right.
and men that may be around you. And if you have a man in your life and he has a hobby or a passion for a toy, don't look at it as he pouring money in that, because there's a lot of things that he could be doing that he's not doing.
Especially if home is taken care of.
Absolutely.
That's
The
the
bills
key.
are paid,
Yeah.
lights are on.
Right.
If water's coming out that faucet, if there's food in the refrigerator,
Right.
Go ahead,
then
sir.
if I have some extra income that I want to spend on me and I'm not ripping and running in the streets, leave me be.
That part right there.
Simple as that.
100%
And
true.
just like with what, Mr. Wilson just spoke on with the research, for example, if you are researching, let's just say something as simple as a cam for your vehicle. Okay. So after you find the cam, then you're going to wonder, okay, how many extra horses is this cam going to give me? Then it may lead you from that to, well, if I change the cam, then can I stick with the same set of headers that I have? Maybe, maybe not. So now that will take you from researching your cam into researching, your headers. And it just goes on and on. So, like Fred just noted to, when you start that research, you can really get deep off into it if you're serious about it and want to do it the right way. And I'm pretty sure, like with Fred and his truck, even though he's at, let's say, relatively the beginning of it, he already knows what that truck will look like once he's done with it. And that's what he was speaking about in terms of the vision that he has for his Chevy. When he bought that square body Chevy, he already knew in his head, he could see what that truck would look like. I'm talking from the paint job to the wheels to the interior to the motor, to the exhaust. He had a full vision of what he wanted to do with that truck from the very beginning. And that's the fun part of it.
That is, and you know what? You will be right with that. So I think it's a great thing as we talk about this, and when they say man should have a vision, and it's just, you got your vision, you got your purpose in life, right? And then outside of that, we just have vision in everything that we do.
Like having vision for your family.
For your family, we can walk
Vision
into
for
a
your
house.
marriage.
Yes.
But also too, vision for fun. Don't get it twisted. Now,
Work hard, play hard.
I'm gonna play hard.
people forget that leisure is just as important as being focused on everything else that these guys talking about. They hitting the hammer on the nail. But one of the things I know, when I worked a lot, I didn't get a chance to play a lot. And I know that brought me down a lot. So now even with, and I like what the guys are saying, for me personally, if I have a bad day and I can get on a bike, a boat, drop a top, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Well, you know what to say about all work and no play.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
got to throw a little bit of play in there also.
That's one of the reasons why I smoke cigars. You know, as the same thing as the culture side, because that's one of my pastimes. But when I get on that bike, I feel free. When I'm on that boat, I feel free. Because it's like you said, and Shay said it so eloquent. You get to see what God created.
Absolutely.
You drop
it's so
that top,
tranquil.
you can feel the wind. See, people say, "Man, I got a fast car." That's cool. When you drop that top and you got a fast car, you can feel that wind. You like, ooh. And I ain't got no hair. I let my ball, run over the ball. It's sweet. It feels just like I got hair.
No, you're absolutely right. With you play too much.
Because I mean, the thing that y'all are saying is dead on the money. Audience, don't get it twisted. These guys is dead on the money. But I've learned that you can do everything right. Be a man of God, take care of your family, take care of your kids, and then you realize you don't got nothing left for you. So the things that we talking about with these big boy toys, a lot of the time ladies, these are stress relievers. And ladies, you getting into it too now. So understand, when it's a stress reliever, like my brother Shay said, if it ain't now, if you doing this and y'all know who you are, you taking too much and spending too much money.
Yeah.
That's when you doing bad. But if you really doing this the right way and taking your time and building it out, and it's not causing a problem in your household.
Right, if you're not neglecting home, that's it.
Absolutely. And I'll just say this to, because I've already told my son this, and I told my nephews too. Mm-hmm. I said, never make women a hobby. It's the most expensive hobby you can ever have.
Damn, that's true.
So what happens when you invest in yourself, and I'm not talking against the ladies, but if women, if you seeking a good man, it's good if when you look at a man that is investing in himself and his mental health, be it through a motorcycle, be it through a boat, just a good cigar, that means that man's going to sit down and he has a logical mind. Right? And he's going to make logical decisions. So just for listening audience, I don't know if it's ladies or who's listening right now, but this is just what men do when they're seeking out peace. But we all do it in different ways. But when we're seeking out peace, this is something normally we're going to be doing by ourselves. Yep. We don't have to have a bunch of people around. We don't need an audience. That's not what we're seeking and stuff. We're just seeking that peace out. So moving forward, and men, please seek out another peace other than just running the streets. Shay spoke on healthy eating. I'm into it. I love the herbs. Actually, I just stopped and picked up some things on my way in. Mm-hmm. And there's so many other ways we're talking about investing in yourself and your peace and your health and your mental health. And this is just one of the ways. And I think we're going to have another show talking about this, many ways that men can invest in themselves, because the world will always pull on you.
Man.
Right? They make a lot of excuses out in the world for a lot of people, but not too many for a man. So in that time, sit down, seek out something peaceful for yourself. And I repeat, other than running the streets. Sometimes you have to be out there because that's where you make your money at. Maybe that's where you're hustling at. But you also need to take a break from that.
Yeah, all day.
Because vacation, that means nothing without work. Right?
I agree.
It means nothing. So put the work in, but then at the same time, seek out your peace at the end of the day. Be it in a garage, sit down in a cigar bar, me working on a truck, me working on a boat. Whatever you do, seek out that time by yourself and God, just for a moment, even if it's just an hour, because we usually don't have that much time.
Not at all.
An hour, half an hour, put yourself in heaven. You're responsible for putting yourself in heaven here on this earth. Is it anything with us winding down? And I'm going to go to Shay, you being our special guest, that you can share with, because this is a man edition, that you can share with men moving forward or seeking out peace in their life.
First and foremost, you need to put God at the head of everything. Mm-hmm. God is where all of your blessings come from.
That's right.
Us being all here today, that's a blessing. Mm-hmm. Because there were so many who were unfortunate and did not wake up this morning. So for me, I would say take a minimum of 30 minutes every day, just to reconnect to yourself and to focus on the many blessings that you do have. Because oftentimes we choose to focus on more so the things that we don't have, how things are going wrong,
Right.
as opposed to being thankful for the things that we do have, and the things that are going right. And so many of us, that's why for me and Mr. Wilson, he can speak to this. Even at work, I tend to kind of, be to myself, but I deal with a select few, those who I feel that are positive. I stay away from the negativity as much as possible, even though I've ran into a little bit of it here and there at work, So,
I can speak to that. The same here, and you know how I say to myself, I tell people, I'm not really entertaining low vibrating conversations or energy. If you wonder why I don't talk to you, but what would you have to share with the men out there about when they're seeking out their peace?
One of my 7 principles is leisure. And I'm very, very stern about leisure. And people wonder why. And I said because it's easy for us to get caught up in the day-to-day hassles of life. Taking care of the bills, making sure everybody's taken care of. And then you forget about you real quick because you're doing your responsibility and taking care of things. Leisure is important. If you got to carve out 30 minutes once a week, whatever it is you carve out for you to have fun, and whatever that fun is, make sure you do it because it's going to bring about a balance in your life that you probably never knew you had. Because I know so many men, especially from the plant, who have worked, my father being one of them. And when I asked him one day what he do for fun, he said, pay the bills. I said, that ain't fun. Because then later on in life, as he retired, he had to relearn how to have fun because he knew that wasn't fun then. So he never had anything that he could do that was fun. And he substituted drinking for fun. And you don't want to substitute your peace of mind, your being cognitive and being aware of yourself just for you taking care of being responsible. Make sure you add in the leisure time that is guaranteed necessary. If you look at any of the anything that you scripture-wise, if you look at anything from different religions, spiritual-wise, they took time out to meditate to get back to a certain state of mind. That's leisure. Whatever that is for you, find that, and man, go after it for real, because you need that every day.
Wow. I thank both of you for sharing that, and the ultimate goal of this show was to change society's perspective on how they see men. Yes, we are providers, but outside of providing, we're people, right? Guys don't talk about feelings, but we have them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We don't often talk about being disappointed, but we get disappointed. We don't often talk about broken dreams, but we've had dreams that were broken. So outside of that, you brought up one important thing that I don't hear a lot of men talk about, and it's something simple. You said it's okay to have fun.
Right.
Man, it is okay to have fun. It's not like you're being irresponsible because you're having fun. You're just celebrating all the hard work. And the hard work may be keeping the lights on, like you said, shade, the water, food, roof over the head. So it's okay to celebrate. So I want that to be a normal part. Let's make that normal again.
Yes.
Guys.
Well, see, that's even biblical.
Right.
Like the panel just spoke on. I mean, the Bible says, enjoy the fruits of your labor.
Yes.
Exactly.
So you're supposed to enjoy, all the hard work that you've invested.
Absolutely. And Doc was saying it before the show about taking a break. And I know that's because you're very busy. And that's Doc, he's running everything here.
Yes,
but Miles, I know that is there anything you can share with these men about, because I know how hectic your schedule is, how important it is to have something that you can go release in,
When you say releasing, what exactly do you mean?
You mean like having an outlet?
Having an outlet.
Oh, yeah. Well, mine is always starting a business. I wanted to start a business. That's my create. I'm creative. So
Got an echo.
Oh, sorry about that.
Okay.
My mind is creating a business.
Right.
I started, I'm a creative, so when I get frustrated or get, want to release, I think of something to create a new business. Some people are like, but it's business. I'm like, that's what I love to do.
Right. It's
Love
fun.
to create.
Yeah.
That's fun.
It's fun to think of something and the next thing you know, people buying it.
Right.
Yeah, well, see, that's a form of having a vision.
Yes. And we go back to
Creating
that.
a new vision. I mean, yeah, creating a new business. That's a vision.
Yes.
I always say knowing your person. You need to know yourself to know what's fun for you. Because what's fun for you may not be what's fun for me. But at the end of the day, if that's what you like doing and that brings you joy, man, by all means, go after it.
Yes. Yes. And I'm glad you brought that up once again, because we said that several times throughout the show about a man having a vision. Everybody's vision is going to look different. It's going to mean something different. It may look like work to you, but it's pleasure to the next.
Correct.
Okay? So let's stop trying to carbon copy other people's life. Make your own blueprint, man. Make your own blueprint. I'm telling you, make your own and stuff. We're not here forever, right? People need to know that you were here. And then when it's time to leave, don't leave with regrets of what you should have, could have did. Because it was all in your power to make your vision, make it clear. It could be for a bike, a business, your health. But be consistent and stay committed to your commitment.
Correct. That's all I do. A lot of times, in this, I know we winding down, but a lot of times people think, I got to get the money, I got to get the money. But when you get the money, what you do with it? And Biggie always said, more money, more problems. Because people think, I'm going to go do this, I'm going to do that. You got to have fun along the way.
Absolutely.
You have to have fun. And it's unfortunate that a lot of this that I learned it in prison. Because people kept saying, man, why you happy? Why I'm sad? I'm living. I'm alive. I might not be in the best place that I want to be in, but I can make the best out of the bad situation. And so a lot of things, when they're taken away from you, that's when you really love them the most. So that's why, like for me, being a biker was so important, because I walked for 7.5 years because I couldn't drive or nothing. I walked around the compound. I did this, I did that. But then when I got a chance to ride again, I appreciated riding on a different level now. And because I'm like, okay, this is fun. It ain't just about going to point A to point B at 155 miles per hour. It's about enjoying the point A to point B now. So now I'm getting it. And so that's what we want to stress to, don't rush through life thinking you about to get some magical utopia spot because you got the money or the power or the women, the fame, or whatever it is. Enjoy the steps of going there, because once you're there, there's going to be a whole nother set of problems that you didn't even know existed.
And I'm listening to you. You had anything you want to add, Shay?
Look, money and everything.
Yeah, I felt you had something to say. Okay.
Money and everything.
No, it isn't.
Preach, brother. Money and everything.
It is not. I've been there before.
Man, we all know where Puff Daddy is sitting right now.
One of the richest men in the world.
Yeah.
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 That part right there.
That part that way.
And healthy hobbies, vision, it's such a sense of freedom,
Man,
for me.
it is.
Well, see, you just
spoke of
touched
it.
on the key word, and it all starts with health. And if you don't have good health, then it doesn't matter how much money you have. You won't be able to enjoy it because you won't have the health.
Well, not at all. I
You
think
got folks confined to their beds because they can,
Right.
they don't have good health.
Look at Steve Jobs, one of the richest men in the world. Still died at a young age.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Couldn't buy himself out of it.
Couldn't buy yourself out of it.
I think I posted a few weeks back about health is true wealth, and it is. And
That's the best investment that you can make.
Yeah, and I'm not even just talking from the physical, from the mental perspective. Your mind can make your body sick.
Wow. Preach, brother, preach.
It sure can. So when we talk about health, I like everybody to just start from a spiritual and a mental health. Your mind can will your body to healing.
Man, that's so real.
Because when you're down and out, inside your mind, you are encouraging yourself. I don't care who's standing above you. They can tell you can do it. You can do this. But you have to encourage yourself. So I would tell each and every man listening to this, take care of your mental health, and then watch the energy.
Yeah, because the mental, does manifest itself to the physical.
It does.
Whether it's positive or negative.
Oh, yeah. Stress can put you into strokes, high blood pressure. But we're going to have another show on that. I just thank you, gentlemen, for coming on. And, for you for coming on, and you continue to stay on.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I appreciate it.
I had fun.
So you can catch Q next week, Creative Emotions. I'm sure she's going to have an amazing topic. You're going to catch us later on in December. We're going to be wrapping up the year. We plan on having an amazing show even then. So I just want everybody to, if you didn't take anything away from this, take this one thing, is peace in your mental health, and your life only have to make sense to you.
That's true.
Peace, and we'll see you guys next. You'll see Q next week.
Right, and ain't nothing they can do about it.
No, because we ain't got nothing but love for you, and he's good knowledge.